events.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Kara doesn't have her computer. So
Nor will I ever. My computer died. And I've been on. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so here's the deal. I had to do final edits, which I thought I've already done final edits for my book. And it took 2 hours this morning, and we still have 2 hours to go probably. So that's the deal with me. I had to jump ship and jump on this call. And then when I went to do it, I'm on my husband's computer because my computer died last Friday, just wouldn't turn on anymore. And then I didn't have the Zoom login. So, anyways, here we are. And like I just told Ashley, I need this call as much as anybody. So, what we're going to do today is I know this call is going to be recorded and sent out. So, I'm going to address y'all as the bigger group and not maybe the people that, are regular members that are joining our call, but just the bigger group, and talk about, potentially joining just really quick. And if you guys have any questions for me about your health, about the challenges, about anything, feel free to leave that here. So just briefly going to speak on membership. So people keep wondering, how can I learn more? How can I get more in depth with my health? How can I have this broader understanding? And that's all going on in the membership. As the members that are joining us today already know, we're already addressing a lot of this. This month we worked on detox and drainage through the lymphatic system. I hope you guys are noticing as big of a difference as me. I feel like I haven't had as much time for my workouts, but my body's not being affected because of the lymphatic work. So huge focus on the lymphatic work, lymphatic activation, so that our drainage pathways are opening and working. So we added in supplemental work to incorporate, and then we added in detoxification. So the baths, the sauna, the dry brushing, all of that. That's all working for us for the greater drainage detox. If you guys are, staying up with what we're doing, hopefully this has been a huge transformation. At this point, we're almost to 28 days, which is really crazy. I can't even believe it's May 9th. Like, actually, somebody needs to shake me. The other thing is I didn't really sleep last night because we had series rounds of tornadoes. If you guys saw on the news, Middle Tennessee got hit really hard last night from about 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty nuts. So anyways, I'm on low sleep, which is, like I said, the reason I need this call just as much as you guys do. What we're going to do today is a guided meditation. So we have implemented nervous system support in order to support lymphatic detox. As I've taught in the membership since January, from a foundational level, there's first the stress. That leads to a breakdown in the nervous system. That leads to a breakdown in the hormone system. That leads to a breakdown in the immune system. And then from there, it can kind of web out to health conditions and breakdowns of the immune system. Chronic infections is what I'm seeing as I look and interpret blood work. I'm seeing so many chronic infections that aren't being addressed by your medical directive team. And then autoimmune disease. And so, like, these things stack on, or getting sick. So, in our membership currently, we're learning to decrease the toxic load in our bodies in order to be able to improve the immune system so that we can improve the hormone system. But the cool thing is those two things work hand in hand. And from a clinical perspective, it requires some effort and work. On the other hand, it doesn't require any money at all to improve and rebalance our nervous system. And our nervous system has a huge impact on our hormone system and our immune system. So we actually can turn back the clock. We don't always have to address the stress that caused the breakdown, but we can address the nervous system. So I have been doing a ton of nervous system work with my clients, and they've been healing all kinds of crazy diseases, health conditions, on and on and on. Really improving the immune system with regulating the nervous system. So that's the beauty of it. That's the power of it. I think a lot of the effort that we put in, yes, it requires time, but it doesn't really require money. And so we are, utilizing our own body. We're activating um, systems in the body so that our body can really like flourish and have vitality and heal, if that's the case. I think, by certain age, we all have stuff that we can heal from. So, with that said, we are going to do a guided meditation today that, if I'm being very honest, I haven't prepped at all, but typically I can run through these pretty easily. And I feel very guided by the Holy Spirit. In this case, I'm going to be transparent about that. So that's how I feel led to do guided meditation. So sorry if that makes anybody uncomfortable. We have an older guided meditation that is a little bit more like secular. Ashley, we can draw that out too and attach that to the email. So anyways, so we are going to get ourselves set up into a meditative state. The breath work that we sent is really helpful for resetting the PNS throughout the day. It's helpful for being able to do that quick reset. But in order for deep healing, or to reduce the actual perceived stress that our body faces, we need to learn how to meditate. And that can be through listening prayer, and that can be through guided meditation. If you are, more of the worldview of the Christian worldview, then you can look into Abide. And if you're more of a secular worldview, then you can look into the Calm app. Both of these offer guided meditations. I have a hard time finding good ones on YouTube. That's not somewhere, even though I use a lot of YouTube stuff for other methods and modalities of healing, I could not find a lymphatic activation there, and I can't find a guided meditation. So we're doing this together so that we can learn and understand and experience. Before you get started, I'm going to ask you guys to go grab yourself some tissues, because this can sometimes get pretty emotional because we don't really always understand or know the stress that we're holding on to. So just grab some tissues so you're not just snotting all over yourselves. And then sometimes it's nice to have a little notebook nearby. So afterwards, we can jot down some notes that seem to want to spill out. The idea is that we're turning this off while we meditate, and that we can turn it back on after we're done, and then write down some maybe messages or other things that we experienced, felt, heard. So that's the process. In order to get into a proper meditative state, our position is pretty important. You guys can actually lay flat on your backs if you want to. You can sit cross-legged on the floor. Typically, when I'm starting new with somebody, I ask that you are seated in a chair and your feet are planted firmly on the ground. Your palms are facing up, relaxed on your thighs. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your tongue is relaxed. And your eyelids gently close. So, with the idea of our feet being firmly planted on the ground, it's also nice to think that our heads are in that spiritual realm, the heavens, so to speak, that they're kind of attached with a thread. And we can get into that deep, relaxed state. So we're just going to start with some deep breathing. We're going to start with 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out. 5 in, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Keep those eyes gently closed. 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. So as we get comfortable into this meditative state, we can elongate those breaths. You can start with 7 in, 7 out. But while we're meditating and doing this listening prayer, it's important that our breaths in match our breaths out. So I want you guys to stay in that mode of breathing. And what we're going to do as we work through this 10 to 15-minute time together is we're going to kind of do a scan over our bodies, starting with our heads. So breathe in clarity and breathe out stress. Focus your attention on your head, your brain, your mind, your face, and breathe in and relax. And breathe out. and release all of that tension, all of that stress. You can kind of feel it oozing out of that area as we really relax into those breaths. If you haven't yet, try 7 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Does it feel like we're holding on to anything in our minds or in this space, in our faces and our sinuses that we can release? Pressure that we feel. So often we get caught up. You guys keep breathing as I guide you. Deep breath in and release out. We get caught up in worst case scenario. We get heightened by what can be. We get controlled by the what ifs. But the truth is, what if it's the worst case scenario? How bad is that? When we think it through, oftentimes rejection, redirection, these things are protection. As we embrace that, we know that we are divinely protected. And sometimes things that don't go the way we want them to is just another form of protection that we have a chance to become aligned with, or we can fight it. Let's accept that protection. Breathe in that protection and out that stress. Breathe in that surrender and out the control. As we work our way down from our heads into our shoulder and our heart region, what can we release here? What has broken our hearts that is not meant to affect us this long? Let's breathe out that sadness. Breathe in that love, the love of the protection. And out fear. So often we fear the unknown, but it's that unknown that is driving the alignment, that's driving the protection, that's driving the path. Can we just be open to the path that's divinely planned for us? When you set your foot upon that path and you know that you're held by the Creator, how comforting is that? If you know that you're being held by the Creator, where do you see yourself? How do you feel? What's it look like? What's it feel like? Can you feel your chest releasing the control, the anguish? Breathe in love and breathe out fear. Breathe in comfort. Breathe out pain. There's so much mercy when we bring ourselves back to the moment. There's so much that our systems can realign if we just calm them, if we calm them through understanding that there is divine protection over us. That not everything is make or break. That a shift outside of what we saw planned is sometimes for the better, for the greater, for protection. I ask that you feel the comfort of this blessing of the moment. And right now, I just wash away any thoughts and any to-do lists. If you have thoughts that are racing through your mind or a to-do list that's racing through your mind, release them. Watch the rain wash them away. And give yourself a chance to just be present in the moment, be comforted by the Creator. As we move down our body, we've done our heads, we've done our hearts, we've done our shoulders. Can we bind up what's causing our digestion, our stomach aches, our pain, our discomfort, and dissolve that? Because as we reset our nervous systems, that can wash away. Once we understand that our health conditions are just that, they're conditional, that we can be cleansed of them when we see it that way, when we believe it that way. If your body was to be optimal, what experiences could you have? If you allow life to come to you rather than trying to control every aspect, what does that feel like? How comforting is that? As we work our way down our abdomen, and I can just feel some distanglement for people to have more comfort. I can feel the burden of some people with reproductive issues and infertility. I can just see that cleansed, washing away. As we support our body through our nervous systems and unwind the stress of what's the worst that can happen. And we cleanse ourselves with being realigned with the greater plan. As we work our way down our bodies, we realize that this lymphatic activation work was working for our legs too. We feel more energy. We're starting to see our muscle tone. Our muscular skeletal system is doing what it's supposed to. How does that feel in our legs? Breathe in complete restoration, complete healing. And breathe out any of these claims that we've made over ourselves. We no longer claim the dis-ease that has caused our body's discomfort and pain and suffering. That is not part of us. We release that from us. It is not ours to carry forever. Suffering is temporary. We bless our bodies to be cleansed of it. Keep focusing on your breath. Know that you are divinely protected, divinely guided, and you are starting to see a clear path. I can almost visualize some of you taking a step on that path. That is surrender. Is that the way you want to go? Full surrender or full control? Control gives our nervous system edge. Surrender gives it ease. So we breathe in that surrender. Breathe in for 10. And out for 10. Breathe in for 10. And out for 10. As we work through this meditative practice, to know that our bodies are capable of restoration, they're capable of homeostasis, they're capable of becoming something that we have not even truly understood. I just send our members, our participants away with hope and with healing. We take a big breath in to accept that, and a breath out to release. And one more in to accept. One more out to release. And as we start bringing the present moment back into our bodies, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and know that you are on this earth at this time for a reason. Your feet are planted firmly where you are right now for a reason. Know that, accept that, believe that. And now you can open your eyes, and I'm going to give you guys a minute. Like I said, if you're listening live or if you're watching this as a recording, take a minute to feel some emotions. Some of them might be heavy. Some of them actually might be really light and hopeful. some of you might feel a big release. I'm going to give you a moment to write that down. If anybody wants to share, they're welcome to either unmute or share in the chat how that felt, what that experience was like. Otherwise, you're welcome to write it down, like I said. All right, take another minute to awaken your body. I know it's like, oh, that was just like the best nap of your life. Like I said, I needed that meditation just as much as anybody. We're going to send this out if you guys need to redo it later on your own time. You'll have that guide. So how are you guys feeling? Let me know how you're feeling. Drop it in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. I know sometimes it's hard to get into that state. Cynthia, yes, when you do it on your own, go back through and do this every day if you can, actually, and just release what is not meant and accept what is. It's hard when we have stuff overarching that we need to accomplish. Feeling relaxed and lighter. Wonderful doing that practice with everyone. So glad, like I said, so glad you guys could join us. This is something that I like to incorporate at least once a quarter in our membership. And I'm glad that we got to do it with you guys. This is just what I needed after being sick for a week and a half, having to halt the challenge recipes. Yeah. So sometimes even sickness is a protection. Like I'll give you guys a quick example and I don't want to keep you on too long. Feel good. It feels good. I've never done this before. So now you guys can see what I mean about, not all healing is clinical. We don't want to claim our diseases. Those are not us. Our bodies are meant to be whole. And so that's a way for us to release. Yes, the Calm app is great. With my clients, I do the guided prayer, so healing prayer, and Abide is a little bit more aligned with that, but Calm is amazing for sleeping tools and for guided meditation. But I'll give you guys an example. So on Sunday, Maggie snapped her arm at her soccer game, and it was very clear from the second it happened. The players around her were crying, so I could tell that it was bad. And on our way to the hospital, we thought, God is using this as protection. We accept that. It's hard to see your child suffering. She even accepted that. And we thought, maybe her knees are weak, maybe her lower back is weak, maybe something that could cause her more time out is weak. And this was protection from getting more hurt or something that would cause more time. So anyways, that's just one example of how we can sometimes use our suffering to understand redirection and protection. So a lot of times we hit a detour, even in the road, like you run into traffic and you're like, oh, I was supposed to be there 5 minutes ago, but I accept this redirection as protection. It just becomes like a more calm feeling all the time. So it's something that we constantly need to be reminded of and that we can always control. So that's the cool thing about our nervous system, is that we have so much more control over it than we do, like clinical diagnosis. So anyways, let me know if you guys have any questions that I can answer about the challenge, about a membership, about CCN in general, about the nervous system, lymphatic system. Hope this has been a great experience for you guys, and hopefully you can continue to utilize this particular method to work on your best self. So if there's no questions, thanks for sharing your experiences with me. But if there's no questions, I will let you guys go and send you off into a great week. Take care, everybody.